Good evening, short story writers. I know I said a couple of weeks ago I was going to theme certain days and we're supposed to do songs or stuff on Saturday. However, my, one thing that caught my eye were a couple of really odd news items this week concerning animals. And I know we used this idea about 10 days ago, but we're going to use it again simply because these animals are just so bizarre. There's either an emu, or I think it was an emu, not an ostrich, an emu loose somewhere where they just don't live. I think it must have escaped from a zoological garden of some description, not a zoo, probably a safari park. And it's, quote, still on the loose after 10 days, as if it's a kind of a wanted criminal. So there's a story idea. A criminal escaped animal. That'd do for comedy. It made me laugh. I'd read that story. And beavers have been seen in England in some river for the first time in 400 years. And there was a bounty on their head about 400 years ago, apparently, and they were exterminated. They were regarded as a problem because the dam building activities. Now, surprise, surprise, this is seen to be beneficial and it's caused other wildlife too. It's had an impact, a beneficial impact. And, quote, landowners will be compensated. How bloody British is that? Excuse my Anglo-Saxon there. Landowners, as if the entire world revolves around the people who own the land. Calm down, breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. Okay, and then the third animal caper, shall we say, I read today was a bald eagle, presumably in America, attacked a government drone and sent it to the bottom of a lake. Go bald eagle, well done. It was a government drone. It's probably not up to much good, wherever it was and whatever it was doing. And if that is wrong, then I take it back. But my impression of government drones is that they are generally used for bad warfare type things. Right, and war is always bad. Okay, so comedy. Well, the famous attacking Hitchcockian bird that attacks strange things, and the emu and the beavers. They could go around magpie or raccoon like stealing stuff, I guess, but they don't do they just build dams and things. But they're cute. They're very, very cute. Literary fiction. Well, if you want to do slice of life type stuff, how about somebody getting involved for the protection of said species, coming up against authority, the landowners, and the conflict that ensues? You could give it a happy ending, and this one's had a happy ending. So how about the local sheriff wants to go and shoot the bald eagle, but it's a protected species. But he being or she being a gung-ho type wants to shoot it in any way, and the locals want to protect. I believe the bald eagle is a protected species. Okay, romance. Two wild animal lovers get together and they indulge in no, not that. Get involved in is the word. Indulge in, get involved in the protection aspect of things again. So that would tie in with the literary part. Sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and surreal. Well, they don't have to be earthly creatures, do they? They could be from another planet. It's a bald eagle, but it's a robot bald eagle. It's a zombie emu. It's a possessed set of beavers. And just for the record, beaver does not have the same innuendo meaning in this side of the Atlantic, on this side of the Atlantic, in England, or Scotland, or Wales, or Northern Ireland, or Eire. I'm probably not in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa either. It's a lingua franca in India. I doubt very much whether they use it. So, you know, it's just 360 million of you, plus possibly Canadians. I don't know. I'm talking. I'm afraid it's the bald eagle and the emu that got me. I'm finding this hysterically funny. Political. Well, the bald eagle is a political symbol. I guess somebody could form a local party around the industriousness of the beaver and its family activities. Apparently they're very family orientated. And horror, crime. Somebody shoots the bald eagle and somebody shoots them and is on trial for murder. So there's your jury as well. Actually, on a related sort of thing, going back to the Napoleonic era, this will give you an insight into some of the mentality that I think still persists in this country. You know, when you say, how could anybody vote for blah, 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 fill in the blanks, do reflect upon the fact that there is, and I'm not going to say, I do know which it is, but I'm not going to say which one it is. Their symbol is a monkey being on a gibbet, which is kind of grim, but it was in the Napoleonic era when the death penalty still existed. And the locals found an escaped monkey, and they assumed, because it was Napoleonic and because these people were far from educated, they assumed it was a Frenchman from Napoleon's army, because it couldn't understand English, this little monkey. They put it on trial. It had a proper trial, and it was found guilty of being a foreign soldier, and they hanged it. In all earnestness, this was totally true. We laugh about it now. It must have been like, well, if you're an animal lover, obviously it's a horrible story, but the wider implications about how uncivilized people can behave are also in that story, and relying on lack of education. I mean, how was it in any way a proper trial? Was there a judge? It was a proper trial. There must have been a judge in that case and barristers involved. None of them recognized that this was not a human being. So, anyway, 7:55. Get writing, have fun, have a great weekend. See you tomorrow.